Oh my.
You get one.
Yeah, it's amazing how it shrinks. I know.
Sometimes they give you a box. Sometimes second level. They're pretty good seats. Yeah. I'll tell her. I'll tell her whenever you call me.
He had an appointment over there.
I'll watch out for it.
So Sharon Young is the my youngest. We're both in the same county. You're not going to do that to me again, are you?
Get too close.
Well, I didn't.
Good.
Mary lives in
Oh, this is great. I think you're I remember having to do it. Well, I knew that we were going to
It's good to see you.
You know all those pretty girls I used to date?
A lot of work's gone into putting this together, and a lot of people are responsible. Most of it, you folks, because without your help, we'd have never gotten the group together. We started a year or so ago with 3 or 4 names, no addresses, and now have, just I quit stepping on it, that'll help. Now have about 176 on the mailing list, most of which are, hey Reuben, do something with this thing, will you?
Something.
That all right? Yeah, we'll just put up with that. I'm not going to talk very long anyhow, and then I'm going to turn this over to a real radio man. I can probably do just as well without that. Can everybody hear? All right. Just turn it off. I think I talked so much last night that I got hoarse, so I won't last long. But there are some people in particular that I think we all ought to thank. Those of you that have had a chance to look at that directory will realize that a lot of work went into that, and Laura Sponsler Wiggs did that for us, and it's really a nice thing. Also, other folks that have worked hard on this, Quito and Christina Rojas, Charles, and if those of you that didn't make it by their house this afternoon missed a treat. The decorations were handled primarily by Minerva Flores Gonzalez, and let me see if I can get through all of these. Arciela Flores Mancilla, Alicia Alvarado Ramos, and Maria Elena Garza Riviera. We want to thank them. Velva Jane Norwood Schumacher, which is now Velva. As we've all discovered, a lot of our double names have quit them. Joan Raymond Barons was kind enough to take over the handling of the money, and that's a thankless chore. Done a great job on that. And Barbara Walt McCabe, and I think there are others that I've probably missed, but I personally would like to thank all of you. Also, tonight, we're glad to have Terry Spencer, who volunteered to video this. And for those of you that are interested, copies of the video will be available. Roy McQuarter, who lives in Odom and has a shop there and is married to one of our own, will duplicate these. Joan is going to take orders and $12.50 for those of you that are interested. They'll be duplicated and mailed out as soon as they can get them done. That includes everything, the tape, the mailing, the whole works. One other announcement, it's not a happy one, but Bobby Yonka, one of our classmates that you'll all remember, I spent a lot of time trying to locate and found him in Victoria, and he was very excited about coming to this, and discovered about a month or so ago that he's probably got stomach cancer and was not able to be here tonight. He sent his annual with Don Morgan, and it's back there on that desk by the back door, and as well there is a card that we'd like each of you to sign, as Bobby just wanted to hear from everybody. Also, we've got a couple of notes from people that couldn't be here that they asked to be read. One of them is Cecil Clendenin, who a lot of you will remember as one of the teachers back in our days. And I'm just going. It's a little long, but I'm going to read through it, and I think you all ought to hear it. Apparently, he's in Dallas now. Class of '56. Thanks for the invitation to the reunion. As a teacher, it is very gratifying to see former students. It renews your faith in humanity to know that other generations are making this a better place to live. I'm sorry I can't attend the meeting of your class. There are 3 things in my life that I am proud of in my career. I'm proud of my service to my church. I contributed to its necessary funds and served on its governing body. I am proud that my commission as an officer in the U.S. Navy in World War II listed me as a volunteer when our nation was in dire peril. And I'm proud of my contribution to humanity as a teacher for 40 years. I hope this does not read like something found in the obituary column, but as a person satisfied with my life and career. For most people, high school years are the happiest of your life. I have lived through many of those, including the 1956 class, and hope you have many more. Very sincerely, sincerely yours, Cecil Clendenin. And also one of our classmates of some great notoriety that we'll all recall is Edna Russell Parr. She couldn't be here, although she wanted to, and she sent this note. My heart is in Texas, my body in Massachusetts. Summer school, summer jobs, driver's ed for 4, sports camps, and a 50th wedding anniversary dictated that I have to be in Massachusetts now rather than in Alice, where I'd much rather be. I know everyone will have a good time reliving old times and catching up on all of the highlights of the 33 years in between then and now. I have lots of great memories of a lot of wonderful people and times. I shall miss having this one to share with you. Love, Edna Russell. She's also one of them that now goes by Edna. With that, again, I guess I could say, are we having a good time yet? I think we are. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our own radio announcer, Mr. Ruben Cavazos.
I'm going to go around and talk to some of you people, and
That's your pacemaker, Rupert.
oh my goodness, and I left my pills on the golf course this morning. But anyway, as Charles said, it's been a great class reunion. 33 years, guys. God almighty, I tell you, it's been a long time. And I guess it's going to be 33 years before we have our next one. I'll be 85. Quito will be 83. And Miss Ramey and Mr. O'Rear will still be in their 40s. Yeah. Miss Ramey, where are you? There she is. You look wonderful, ma'am. I tell you. I was either blind or I never went by the English department. I never took English 4, and I think I took my entrance exam to the University of Texas in English 6 times. I was already a junior by the time I passed it. But I know if I would have taken your class, I would have made it with colors, you bet. And gosh, you really look great, ma'am. Keep it up. And I'm serious, you'll probably look like that in 33 more years. And then, of course, we have Mr. O'Rear. You look great, too, sir. I tell you. Is he out of uniform? No bow tie. That's right, yeah. He got his bow tie caught in a Bunsen burner. That's what happened. And, of course, I'm not doing anything. Cut it out now. What it is, what it is. There we go. But anyway, you know, of course, Betty Bennett, our own Betty Bennett, valedictorian of our class in 1956. Well, I guess you all were dating, weren't you, when you were seniors? Secretly. Secretly. But I knew it. I'd say I knew this, because I was an ace reporter for KWAH, remember that? And Betty, of course, like I said, you know, valedictorian, 95 point something or 96 point something for graduation, something like that. You know, give or take a few points. But I says, now, if I'm like Betty and date a teacher, I could probably get smart, too. And I made my move. Miss Evers turned me down. Yeah. Bless her heart. But she still gave me A's in physiology and biology. She's up in Dallas, and I think she's doing fantastic. There you go. You got to kick it once in a while, just like our equipment at the radio station, you know. But anyway, Mr. O'Rear and Miss Ramey, it is really great to have you both with us. And wouldn't it be great if we would have had all of our teachers here tonight? But thank you both. You taught us a hell of a lot. Whether or not we used it later on, it's a different story. But we hope to see you in the next 33 years. Yeah. You bet. And everybody says, you know, give them a hand, yeah. And I tell you, you guys are great. You know, everybody says, oh, you look fantastic. You know, that's all I heard for the past 2 days. You look just like you did 20 years ago, or 33 years ago. Quito and I couldn't have looked like we did in the annual if we would have had our class reunion the day after graduation. But everybody, yeah. And have you seen Butcho? My goodness, he looks fantastic. Butcho, yeah. Yeah, he never eats. He hasn't eaten for 33 years, you know. Kingsville Water. That's why I moved there now. Maybe I can get like him. But anyway, no, it's really been great, and everybody looks fantastic. And it's been a while, like we said, 33 years, you know. Where have all these years gone by? And, of course, if you all didn't go to Charles Massey's and Mary Dean's hacienda today, and we watched that Port Neches game, I have a report. Remember we told you, some of you, that we were going to win that game tonight, or this afternoon? We did. We found something on that film. Everybody remembers a play where the guy went around the guard and scored, you know, 40 yards, 60 yards, and they beat us 14-7. But we found out today on the film that everybody was so excited about that score, we got the ball with 1 minute and 40 seconds left, and we scored 3 touchdowns. And we beat them 28-14, and for the next 33 years, we're going to be the champs, right? Feel bad. No more of this. Port Neches beat us. No, God. And speaking about football, there's a couple of young people here. I say young. We were young at that time. Barry Carpenter, where are you? Barry and Mike Everett. They were, there's Barry over there. And Mike, get up a little bit, Mike, you know. We, the three of us used to hang around microphones when we were seniors, and we were members of the KWAH radio station. Remember that? Some of you were members of that great organization under the leadership of Shirley Austin. And I'll never forget, you know, we used to practice, tape basketball games and things like that. And for our grade, Miss Austin told us, he says, you guys are going to have to do remember the orange and white football scrimmage, you know, at the end of the year, where the Coyotes, you know, scrimmaged against each other. Says, I want you guys to go ahead and do a football game and tape it for your final grade. And I was engineering the thing, and Barry was the commentary, and Mike was the play-by-play. And I remember the incident that happened. Let me see, yeah. The white was kicking to the orange, and back to receive was McKenzie and Hickman. And Mike Everett gets on the mic. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike Everett, Cosell, coming to you from Memorial Stadium. For the game, it's going to be great, Barry. And here is the kickoff. And the ball lands in the hands of James Hickman. Hickman brings it to the 5, to the 10. And then Barry and I noticed that Hickman didn't have the ball. It was McKenzie. And we're going, oh, my gosh, you know, we make a mistake. Miss Austin's going to fail us, you know. And we were trying to get Mike's attention. No, Mike, it's not. Hickman's going to the 35, to the 40, to the 45. He's up at mid-stride. He goes into territory 45, 40, and we're going crazy. No, it's not Hickman, it's McKenzie. And then he's going to the 10. He said, oh, we're not going to make it, Barry. He said, he's at the 5. He laterals to McKenzie, and McKenzie goes in for the touchdown. And he hasn't lost that suave manner that he's had there. And needless to say, we passed. I even got a scholarship to the University of Texas for that one, you know. But it's great to see the guys. Had a golf tournament today, by the way. Everybody was saying, are you guys going to get up in the morning? And last night, oh, we'll get up at 4 o'clock. We could get up at 3 o'clock. We were feeling so good, you know. But we made it out there, 11 of us. And here are the results. Ronnie Copps. But I don't know whether he shot a 75, and he was the low medalist. Ronnie, where art thou? Yeah, he's over there. Yeah, he was a champ. And Ricky Kensler, Ricky, where art thou? He shot a 77, second place. Anybody beat an 80? Then I shot an 80. So I won third place. That was on the front 9. But we also had awards. We had an award presentation out there this afternoon. The Humanitarian Award was given to Jimmy Franz for coming to the aid of our hangovers last night. He opened up bar on the second hole, right? At 7:30 this morning. Whew. Bless him. So you win the humanitarian award. The most woes in a hole. What's a woe? I know you're asking that. You hear this all the time, you know, somebody hits a ball and they hit it just a little bit too far and they're like, whoa, 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 you know? And that award went to Butcho Garcia, because Quito and I counted 87 woes on the second hole, yeah? At first we thought it was the dogs and go, whoa, 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 whoa. So Butcho gets the most woes in a hole. Best dressed? Oh, you should have seen this guy today. He was ready to kill, you know, like Gary Player, Eat Your Heart Out. But the best dress award went to Benny Lozano. Where is Benny? Yeah. Silk shirt and trousers like Lee Trevino's, but not the Lee Trevino that plays golf, the one that owns a barbershop down here on the... That's the one. The Better Late Than Ever award went to Butch Adams. He just barely made it. But he made it, folks. He was pulling a cart. He said, no, we're riding today. Nobody's walking, you know. And, of course, I just don't get out to play very often anymore. Award went to Charles Gilbreth. So he said all morning long, I just don't get out very much. The, man, I just can't buy a putt today award. Ray got it, sir. He missed about how many putts, Ray? That's where. And I think there was 2 woes in there también, yeah. And of course, the Mr. Consistency and all around award, KITO, 92.7 FM, Rojas. Yeah. Now, we had somebody out there that was not a graduate with us, but we invited him, and he played with us, and he won the longest drive. Ed McCabe, where's Ed? Barbara Walt's husband, I believe? Yeah, he won the longest drive. You all drove all the way from San Antonio, didn't you? So, he never got the ball off the green, off the tee, you know. And, of course, we have the whiff, but we won't go into that.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Oh. That's enough. Now,
a man standing on a golf tee, swinging a golf club, and a little ball sitting on top of a little tee. Okay? And he missed the golf ball. But this is the tee. He broke the tee. He did not hit the golf ball. Now, Mr. O'Ware, you've got to tell us how this happened. So we have the Broken Tee Award, the Whiff Award, and the Most Strokes on One Hole Award.
Thank you, Jimmy. I'll never forget you. So your fault. You're in out of medicine by the 14th. And yeah, that was it. Of course, you know, we already told you about the Poor Nature's game. And on a serious note, you know, it's been 33 years, and I know a lot of you people have always been asking, whatever happened to that film? Whatever happened? Don't see it. You don't want it. No, but we're gonna try to make some copies, and I will contact as many people as we can, or if you want copies of this thing, I'm gonna see if I can get them copied in Kingsville next week, and anybody that wants one, we'll try to make some arrangements before the night's over, either to write me or call me, and I'll get you some copies made. But it did bring back some memories, you know, everybody out there. I didn't know I was so slim. God, but anyway, couldn't bust a wet paper bag. Yes.
While you're talking about making copies, I forgot to tell you. Those of you that want the videos, see Joan after we get through here, and she'll take your orders and your money and your name and your address for sure, so that we can get the copies of this video to you.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Okay, you bet. Remember, that number to call is 1-800-126. Going back to our broadcast expertise again, Back in 1980, some of you, of course, have left and gone, and you haven't been back to Alice in a long time, but back in 1980, we had another football team here that went to the state semifinals, and by golly, they almost made it, you know, under Coach Henderson, I believe it was. Jay Garcia, Butcho's nephew, played on that team, and let me see who else. There was several of them to mention, and of course, Sainz, Yayo's and Socorro's son, played on that team, and Sonny Brown, and well, anyway, when we had that game, or before we had it, since some of us were still here at the time, and I was working at the radio station here at KOPY, they wanted somebody from the 1955 semifinal team to do the broadcast. And I needed one more. I was already doing the broadcast, but I needed somebody to help me, so I got Quito, because I couldn't find anybody else, you know. And, I mean, you know. The minute I drove out of the city limits, I spotted him. And so he said, I'd love to. I says, you know, he says, I'll do play-by-play, you do commentary, Quito. So the game was held in, I think in Corpus, yeah. It was a Friday night. It was cold, raining, and everything. Got in there, set up all of the equipment and everything, and I started the broadcast, you know, and I said, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a great ball game here that we're going to have this evening, a repetition of 1955. Another team, the only team other than the team from 1955 to reach the semifinals, and it's going to be a great game, and with me to do the commentary in color, no, not Howard Cosell, but Quito Rojas. Quito, good evening. There was silence for about 15 seconds, you know, and then Quito comes on. Oh, gosh, Ruben, yeah, I'm all excited. You know, I've never done this before, but we're really going to give it my best shot as commentary on this, and I know it's going to be a great game. It's going to bring back memories, and maybe this is the year that the Coyotes are finally going to get a state championship. What do you think, Ruben? Silence again for 15 seconds. Then I come in. Quito, I think you're right. It's going to be a great ball game. We're going to bring you the action right here on KOPY, and I know the fans back at home that are listening are going to enjoy the ball game, and it's going to be a great game, and it's great to have you here to do the commentary. And, you know, tell me a little bit of what do you think the ball game's going to, how is it going to go? Is it going to go defensively or offensively? Silence again, 15 seconds, you know. Quito comes in. Well, it's raining and the winds are blowing in from the northeast, and I think it's going to be a defensive battle, you know. It's going to be rough. The ball is going to be hard to handle, just like we had it on December 10th, 1955 against Port Neches. But I think the momentum will go with the Coyotes, Ruben. Another 15 seconds, you know. And the director back at the station was going nuts. What in the hell's going on out there? You know, why are they? And so we were in commercial, and he gets me on the phone and says, Ruben, what's going on? Are you having mic problems or something? I says, no, Joe. Says, it's just that Quito and I don't fit in the press box. Him, and he passes me to me. I got to go out and let him get in. So he says, never mind the commentary. Just one guy do it, you know. You'll never get the ball game. So it was great, though. But we managed to do okay. Some of you people have been, you know, oh, gosh, Ruben, I remember in the early 70s we used to see you on Channel 12 doing the weather, and I did. I was in the military at that time, and that was a part-time job, and it was funny because I went down there to audition for sportscaster, and they hired me as a weatherman. And all I knew about the weather, that at night it was going to be dark, and during the day it was going to be daylight. But they gave me a job as a weatherman. And I faked it for about 2 years or so. And then one Saturday night, right after the 6 o'clock news, get a call in the newsroom, you know, Ruben, telephone. And on the other end of the phone is this a strange voice from the past. Ruben, how you doing? God, you look great on television. Says you don't look nothing like you did when we graduated. This is Charlie Brazel. Charlie who? Says, Brassel, man, Brassel, Charlie Brassel. Jesus, Charlie Brassel. He says, yes. He says, we were in high school together. We played softball for the Alice Packers, Mr. Massey's team. Packers? He says, man, I was the only black guy on the team. I said, only black guy on the team? You know. He says, oh, Charlie, yes, I remember you now. Oh, I tell you. He says, how in the world are you a meteorologist? And hell, I couldn't even pronounce the word, you know. I says, no. He says, well, you do a great job, you know, get out there and talk about the cold fronts and the warm fronts and the shower probability and all that. He says, you had to have studied meteorology. I says, no, Charlie, all I do is just go outside and see if it's raining, and if it isn't, I just say it's not raining, you know. And if it is raining, it's raining, you know, so don't take a dummy to do that. But anyway, it was great to hear from Charlie Brassel. Charlie, you're here, aren't you? You betcha, yeah. But anyway, it was great. And after retiring from the military in 1978, we, Cecilia and I and the kids packed up in the dog, and we came back to Alice after 20 years in the military. And, of course, we really never left Alice because I spent 14 years at Fort Sam Houston out of my 20 years in the military. So we used to come down here often. We never moved. But don't ask me how many times I've moved in civilian life. It's been rough. But anyway, we came back to Alice and brought back a lot of memories. I started working at KOPY as a Spanish program announcer, and I couldn't even speak Spanish. Tell you the truth, I couldn't even speak English. Do you have summer classes, Miss Ramey? No, I guess not. But anyway, as I drove around Alice and everything, it really brought back some memories of our high school days here, and it reminded me of a lot of things, and from 1955 and 54, and some of the things I remember about, well, myself and some of my classmates. I'm going to mention a few of them here that I'll never forget. Joan Raymond, where's Joan Raymond? Yeah, a cop was following me one day here in Alice, you know, and that reminded me about Joan Raymond, and some of you might remember this. Joan got an award our senior year because she was stopped. Remember the bulldog, the guy on the motorcycle that came to Alice and was giving everybody hell? You know, everybody was scared of him. Well, he followed Joan one day all the way home, and Joni was just driving so nice, you know. I mean, signal light in hand and everything, and never used, and she got an award for it. But it was in the newspaper, right, Joni? It was in the newspaper, yeah, Joan Raymond, and found out that Joni really, though, I did some investigating. At that time, she wasn't such a hot-shot driver. I did some investigating for our KWAH, and we found out that Joan actually used to double park alongside a police car. And when she was taking driver's education under Coach Ken Carley, remember Coach Carley? He used to take, he was our driver's ed coach. He told me that it was like being a navigator for a kamikaze pilot. And you never parked the cars, Joan. You abandoned it. And you guys got to remember this, you know. Remember those curb feelers we used to have in our cars? The little wires, you know, that you park so you wouldn't get your white walls dirty because the white walls were about this wide. You know, now they just put a little dot on it. It's a white wall, it's going to cost you more. But anyway, so that when you parked, you know, you could come up to the curb and you could feel it. Joni's curb feelers, I think, were 8 feet long. Yeah. But anyway, she did get that award, and I think some of you remember it, don't you? She was in the newspaper, and she got that big award. I would have, too. That bulldog had been following me. But anyway, Tito Rojas. I'll never forget this guy. Want to pick on him again, you know. The best fullback to run out of the single wing since President Reagan himself, I guess. You know? But anyway, you know, he was a possible all-state candidate when we were playing and using the single wing and everything, and his junior year was coming up. And, of course, fourth game of the season, we were undefeated. We were juniors then. Edinburgh beat us. Remember that game? Oh, gosh, yeah. What do you mean, yay? Must be a bobcat here. But anyway, we got beat. That's right, yeah. But we got beat by Edinburgh. And, yeah, somebody intercepted a pass, beat us 7-0. Of course, Quito had a great future as a fullback from the single wing. But that night when we got back, Coach Rigsby, before we got off the bus, he says, I want to see everybody here tomorrow, 7 o'clock, Saturday morning. We changed to the T formation. Quito was moved to guard because he couldn't run out of the T formation, you know. So Coach Rigsby, you know, and him never got along anymore. And I remember Quito says, I'm going to get even with Coach Theo, you know. Senior year, you got your senior books, you know, where everybody puts down their achievements, what you've done in your senior year. Everybody put, you know, home economics. Everybody was taking home economics. 1, 2, 3. One guy had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He was 5 years in home economics. And Quito had all these things, you know. I think he had, oh my gosh, he had high school achievements, and he had football, 1, 2, 3, 4. Basketball, 1, 2, 3, 4. Captain, 4. You know, chorus. He was on the chorus. And believe me, Quito, the way you sang today, who was the teacher? Mr. Curry? Okay, well, okay, I understand now. FHA, he was a parliamentarian for FHA. Future Homemakers of America, my dear. Not the FFA or the FAA, you know. Belonged to the Pan American Club. And then in spite for trying to get it, Coach Riggs, who was head coach and athletic director for his senior year, you know, he was going to be the athletic director, but that didn't work out very well. But he did make All-State in a way with the Alice Packers, the softball team. And some of you people might not remember this. It was fast pitch, and we were in a man's league, but everybody was in high school. And guys like Ronnie Kops and Quito, myself, Basil Boatwright, Charles Hickey, even Charles Massey. We took him everywhere. I mean, well, his dad was a sponsor. So we could, you know, eh? And when was it? In 50, we won the state championship in 54, and then in 55 we had the tournament here in Alice, and the whole team made All-State that year. We won the state championship. Gosh, I remember the last game. Ronnie pitched a perfect game. Quito was sitting down at third base, you know, and Aubrey was sitting down, or somebody sitting down in the outfield. Pitched a perfect game, and everybody made All-State except me. You know, Basil Boatwright made All-State catcher. Ronnie made All-State pitcher, and then Hickey made second base, and you made third base, Quito, and everybody. And Robbie Robinson, remember him? He was our sports writer. I had to, I mean, gosh, I hit a home run in the tournament. I hit 345, made some outstanding plays. And I asked Robbie, I says, Robbie, I didn't even make the second team. Well, we didn't want people to think that we were, you know, in favor of the Alice team, you know, and we would have made it unanimous. It would have been terrible, you know, so we had to leave somebody out. That was me. But anyway, remember Octavio Sanchez? Octavio Sanchez. When we were freshmen in high school, we owe a lot to Octavio, all the guys. Remember the belt lines and the initiations, the freshmen, you know, we got? First, God, I dreaded to go to high school. I said, no, I don't want to go, Mama. I don't want to go. Not today. It's your first day in high school, son. You got to go to school. Yeah, but that belt hurts, you know. And we had heard all these nasty things about the belt line and the initiation and all that. And sure enough, those upperclassmen were waiting for us, remember? They were out there on that football field, man, about 45 deep, you know. And I think this is one thing that, at one time, that Butch Adams didn't get called first. You know, and everything we did in high school, it was Butch Adams first, you know. We even got paid one time, and Butch Adams was first, you know. But this time, he didn't go first. Octavio says, I'll get it over with. Let me go first. And you guys remember this. This is true. This is a true story. Octavio went through there. Boom. Oh, my gosh. They slapped him about 100 times, you know. And then somebody else was second, and then all of a sudden, here comes the old Marine First Sergeant, our principal, Harold Beam. Remember him? And he put a stop to that. What in the world's going on here? No more belt line, no more initiation. And Octavio's just sitting there, you know. And everybody, thanks a lot, Octavio. Nice going, Octavio. You know, really appreciate that. But wherever you are, Octavio, we owe it to you. Franklin Herbert. Remember Franklin Herbert? He was another one of those, you know. I was in Harlingen Thursday, and I passed by the Cardinal Stadium there, and it brought back a memory that Herbert, that was in 1955. That was pegged as the game of the year. We were number 2 in the state, and Harlingen was tied with us, and it was either between Harlingen and the Coyotes. And Franklin Herbert, poor guy. They bring him in, you know, and take him out and bring him in, and he never really got to play consistently. And finally he got in there in one play. He scored a touchdown. Remember that? He caught a pass in the end zone, but he was out of the end zone. It didn't count. So, you know, he was great. And he would have been the greatest 40-yard dasher in the world. Remember when he was in the 100-yard dash? He'd come out of those blocks, and for the first 40 yards, it was Franklin Herbert all the way. And then all of a sudden, everybody passed him, you know. But that reminded me of Frank a little bit. And 2 guys I could never tell apart in high school, but we even played football together. And one was a lineman, and the other guy was a back. Leroy Stein and Bill Steidle. I could never tell these 2 guys apart, you know. But finally, I found out something, and I wanted to be like Leroy Stein. I wanted to be Leroy Stein so bad, you know, not because of his good looks, his intelligence, his way with women, because he lived across the street from the high school, you know. The guy would sleep till 5 minutes before the bell. I had to walk from San Felipe over here, you know. And I says, God, I want to be like Leroy Stein, you know. And you could sleep till about 8:15. But you know what? Leroy Stein was always late. He was late, but he was smart. His first class, he always took it under Mrs. Our history teacher, Mrs. Manuel. Oh, darling, good morning, you know, 30 minutes, yeah. She didn't care. But anyway, those 2 guys I always admired and always wanted to be like them. And, of course, I told you about Betty Bennett. Wanted to be like her because, of course, you know, there's something going here, you know. And Butcho got to see it, too. You know, Butcho has always been my inspiration, and I guess that's why I moved to Kingsville with a family. I wanted to be next to him after all these years. But I owe you my life, Butcho. First game of the 1955 season, I was playing defensive end. The second game, Coach Rixby took me out. I would have been killed. Thank you for saving my life, you know. And he saved my life there. And I introduced him to my son about, well, when we moved to Kingsville, you know. And he says, Dad, that guy went to school with you? And he was in your class? And he's your age and everything? I said, yes, son, yes, son, yes. And he looked at me, you know, Dad, are you sure, Dad? And then I told him the story. He never eats, son. He never eats, you know. That's why he's like that. But, and Ronnie Cobbs and Jimmy Franz, 2 All-Staters that year. Oh, boy, I tell you. Alfonso Lopez over here and Bobby Almaraz and myself, we were, the next morning after we had heard about Ronnie making All-State and Jimmy making All-State, we ran into him in the hallway, and I think it was Bobby Almaraz that told him, says, now that you're All-State, says, you think you can give us a break on insurance, on the car, and says, no, Bobby, that's not the kind of All-State they're in, you know. But, and Robert Garza and Ruben Garza, yeah. Can you imagine? Those 2 guys were inseparable. They were the Bobsey twins. They were like Stein and Steidle, you know. They were always together. And Ruben, always, you know, everybody said, your last name, Garza, right? No, Gaza, G-A-Z-A. And all through his life, he went that way. And he was always trying to get it straight. And they would always say, Ruben Garza. No, Gaza. And if you'll notice in the annual, it's Ruben Garza. Even the people that put up the annual didn't believe him, you know. No, your name is Garza, you know. But anyway, it was great. So those are some of the memories that came to mind. And of course, you know, being here tonight is just fantastic. I've been waiting I didn't think I was going to make it, guys, really, you know. I said, my gosh, we have to wait another 2 or 3 years, that's it. You know, and Cecilia, of course, went and checked my insurance policy. But now that we're in good shape and we're going to be getting together maybe every 5 years or so. It looks like we definitely should do that. And certainly want to thank everybody, the committee. You all did a fantastic job. It's a lot of work. Al and I, and I guess we tried to get something started in '86, and it went about a week. Oops, that's it. We can't do it, you know. So I said, well, we'll leave it on somebody else down the road. But anyway, Charles Gilbreth, you did a great job. The committee, everybody, you really did, bringing us back together again, and after such a long time. And, you know, we're going to do some things now that I want to interview some of you people, because I was told to do that, and you're being taped. And that's why we want you to dial 1-800-363-TAPE, tape. Or is that Spencer? Anyway, but we want to find out what you've been doing and, you know, where you live and all these things. And I know that we've been talking to each other, and it takes about 3 or 4 days. Barbara Wall today, bless her heart, says, oh, we're having such a great time. I hope this thing lasts all week. I said, well, some of us have to go back to work, Barbara, you know. But then they got the longest drive, so anyway, they got to go back. But anyway, we are going to do that, and what I'm going to do is just go around and very briefly just, you know, tell us who you are, how many kids you have, whether or not you're a great-grandmother yet, or great-grandfather. And I think, where's Terry? Is he, there he is over there. So I guess this is why I was supposed to have this. And I'm going to start over here in this hand. God, now I don't recognize them without their name tags, you know. Just like when we're doing football games, they don't have their numbers on their backs. We don't know who they are. Laura Sponseller. How are you? Where have you been and what you've been doing? Yep. Stand up. No, that's a song.
I think that I probably have outmoved all of you, and I'm amazed that I haven't run into more of you over the years. I listed all the towns that we've lived in, but after I went to Baylor, I went to Laredo and started teaching school at Laredo Junior College. And I met my husband here in Alice. In fact, Evelyn Geezy Callahan, Evelyn, what's your last name now? McKay. After all, Evelyn had the best line last night. She said, after all, name tags are as disposable. How did that go, Evelyn?
No, it's not working. This is not a microphone for the thing. It's a microphone for the camera. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're going to have to talk a little louder, that's all. Can you hear us in the back? No? Yes. Yeah, come on up to the front. Yeah, let's do it this way. Then this way we can get everybody down here. All righty. Okay, here we go. Now we can get it.
Okay. After I graduated from Baylor, I went to Laredo Junior College to teach at Laredo. One weekend, Evelyn Callahan had met Bruce Wiggs, who was working here in Alice, and introduced us to him. She said, this is the craziest guy you've ever met. He was really funny, and he's, I met him in, December, and married him the following summer. And fortunately, we've managed to stick it out together. He's a really great guy. I'm real proud of him. He's a banker, and normally, bankers live in one place and wait for the other bankers to die so they can become president of the bank. He was a little more impatient than that, and so we've moved around the state while he gained some banking experience in different jobs. We lived in Laredo, and gosh, I'm not sure I can remember them all without reading my notes. From Laredo, we moved to Victoria and then to Orange, Texas. From Orange, gosh, I think I've got stage fright.
You never had that problem before. Just a brief description of where you've been and where you're at now.
Oh, we finally ended up in Weatherford, Texas, and we've been there 10 years. I teach at Weatherford College, teach computer courses. My husband is still a banker, and presently he's managing 3 banks. He's a bank consultant. Banking's not quite as much fun as it used to be, as some of you know who are in the banking business. We have 2 boys, and one of the boys graduated from West Point in '87 and is in Hawaii, and the older boy graduated from A&M. I was awfully proud of the young one for graduating from West Point. I was extremely proud of the older one for graduating. Our older boy graduated from A&M, is doing very nicely. He works for Linux in Dallas. and life's been very good to me. And I can't tell you how much it means to have seen all of you this weekend. And thank you, Charles, for asking me to do the book. It really was great fun. It meant a lot to me to have this opportunity to visit with so many of you on the phone. I want to tell you there was a little mishap with the book, and some of you may be missing a few pages, and some of you may have an extra few pages. But just so you'll know how the books was put together, there were 8 pages that were omitted by the printer. So the books were disassembled, and the 8 pages were printed and reinserted. And one of the books I checked had the 8 pages in it twice. So if you look through your book, all the girls are listed. The girls are listed by their maiden name, and their married name is also listed, but I alphabetized you by your maiden names. All of the people that we located with their addresses are listed first, and then the people we did not locate are listed next. And then we listed the ones who have died and a little bit about each one of them. Next, I listed your names, addresses, and phone numbers alphabetically. And finally, I listed you by zip code so you could see who your neighbors were.
How about that? Thank you, Laura. Thank you so much.
I can't get over Reuben. Why in high school did we not know we had a stand-up comedian?
I don't know. I'm just like bankers, you know, now in the broadcast business, but we don't die. They kill us, you know. Okay, who's next? Bobby? Come on over here, yeah? Graduate in the boys department, you know. He never took classes under Mrs. Manuel, though. That's why.
For what it's worth, right?
That's for what it's worth. You betcha. What are you doing now, Bobby, and where are you at?
I'm a research manager for Dow Chemical in Lake Jackson.
Mm-hmm. And how many kids do you have? Family, married?
Yeah, I have a family. Have one boy and one girl. One's 12, one's 13.
When's the last time you were in Alice?
5 years ago.
Well, that's not too bad. Okay. And where's it? In Lake Jackson?
Right.
Where's that at?
That's 55 miles south of Houston.
Oh, so you're still in the state of Texas. You're not overseas then.
That's right.
Okay. Any messages for your classmates?
Well, I've had a lot of folks walk up to me and say, you know, you just look great. You look just the way that that I remember you. You look just the same way that I remember you. And so today I was talking to Larry O'Rear, and I was in the middle of a joke. I was telling him a joke, and so somebody walked up and said, "Oh, you look so great. You look just the way I remember you." And I was feeling kind of good about that. And we had a little brief conversation, and I completely forgot the joke. So, you know, you gain a little and you lose a little.
Oh, God, yeah. Listen, tell me about that. Yeah. It got so bad when I was doing the weather, you know, that's why I had to go into radio, because when I would turn around to face a map on television, you know, they couldn't see South Texas. So they started to paint South Texas on my side here, you know. And then we have a cold front that is approaching South Texas right now, moving its way to the Gulf Coast. But anyway, you look great, and you haven't changed a bit.
Oh, great.
Okay, Vaughn. No, that's what everybody says. What have you been doing, big fella?
Oh, as little as I could get away with.
That's what I thought. Yeah, you must be a banker.
No,
You must be in broadcasting.
Neither. No, I'm a manufacturer's rep and live primarily in the Denton area at this time. Have my first wife died in '73, which was the class of '55, Mary Catherine Harrington, and remarried, and 3 years later gained 2 more daughters from that marriage. So we have a blended family of 4 children, 1 grandchild, who's
a grandfather, huh? The first grandfather. We're going to have an award for you.
He's 15 months old, and so we're spending about 2/3 our time raising him too. And I told my wife when we married that she had hers and I had mine, and together, you know, that was ours, and I didn't want any more children. And the Lord has softened my heart over the last couple of years, and I'm in the process of partially raising a grandson. Here, 51-year-old father.
51, isn't that beautiful? Nobody lies about their age, you know. It's just like my wife, Cecilia. She never lies about her age. She tells everybody that we're the same age. And then she lies about my age. So, it's great. Well, it's good to see you. You look great.
It's great to be back, and just been terrific seeing everybody, and it's really great. And we just need to do it a little more often. And
how about next weekend?
That's great.
All righty. Thank you, Clark Vaughn. Okay, thank you, Don Morgan. Okay, no, get over here.
I'm gone. Well, I live in Victoria. I work for Union Carbide primarily during the daytime, and then at night I teach at Victoria College Refrigeration and Air Conditioning. That's my avocation, both at Carbide and the college. I've got 5 children by my first wife. I had to get married 3 times before I got it right. And she had 2, so we've got 7 children between us. I've got 6 grandchildren, 4 of them boys, 2 of them are girls. The oldest one 10, the youngest one 4 weeks. And that's about sizes it up.
Well, I tell you, you don't have television in Victoria.
No.
Oh, that's what I figured. Thank you, Don. Okay, who's next? And I went to school in Victoria, so that made me a Valley Victoria. No, it didn't. Hi, Patsy.
Hello, Ruth.
95.6, right?
Something like that. I think that was Betty's.
Oh, that was Betty's. I told Patsy, last night she didn't look like Patsy, but today she did look like Patsy, so I don't know. Where do you live and what's your husband do?
Well, I'm a widow, have been a widow for 12 years. I've recently moved from West Texas in Lubbock to Austin. In fact, I just moved the 1st of July, so I'm trying to get boxes undone. I didn't know if I could make it or not with the schedule I've been on lately. I'm a stock transfer agent for a holding company for insurance companies. Worked in Philadelphia for 3 months this year and decided I didn't want to live on the East Coast in Philadelphia. Too big.
No, gosh, no.
And I have 1 daughter. She's not married. I'm too young to be a grandmother. And I've really enjoyed being here and seeing everybody.
Good to have you here. You bet. Haven't changed a bit. You betcha, yeah. Oh.
I did not want to ruin my dress, but anyway, I'm Betty Turner, Schrade right now, or Schrade, if you happen to be German. That's my husband over there.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch, mein Fräulein?
Not me. Neil.
Sprechen Sie Heinz? Oh, jawohl. Okay.
Okay, I have a daughter that's a senior in Baylor and a son who's a junior in high school.
And where do you live now?
In Houston.
In Houston. Now, there's a whole bunch of Houstonians here, and we were together. No, you didn't make that one at Charles Kilber's house, did you?
No, I didn't know about that one.
Well, we'll see you in 33 years.
Right.
Thank you so much, dear. Okay, now, Janet.
Hello.
Having fun?
I'm having a marvelous time. I am social activity director in a nursing home in Houston. I have 3 children, and I have 2 grandsons.
Well, how about that? And what does your husband do?
I'm divorced.
Okay, so you're single and available.
You bet.
All right. How about that? To the cafeteria, though. Hi, Barry.
Reuben.
Yes, sir.
This is great, and I don't want to take up these people's time, but I love you.
Oh, my goodness. Well, yeah, I love you too, guy.
And, like the old Hank Snow song, I've been everywhere.
And then some. You betcha. Okay. Bye.
I haven't gone anywhere. I've stayed here in Alice all my life. Married a San Diego girl, moved over there for about 3 years, and I got homesick, moved back to Alice. My only claim to glory is I've got a 8-month-old baby girl.
How about that, yeah? Okay, be honest now. Who changes the baby?
I do.
Now you know why you took that future homemakers class.
Her name's Cecilia.
Her name's Cecilia, namesake. And then some, yes, of course. George Carreño, great. 6 months, he's got to get some kind of award. Okay. Okay. Remember John, everybody?
Hi,
John. I live up in Gonzales, Texas. I own a Chevrolet and Dodge Chrysler Plymouth dealership up there. We have 2 sons. One is graduating, getting his MBA from A&M next month, and the other one is going to be a junior at Rice.
And they're supposed to have a good football team this year.
Hopefully, better than last year.
But with Betty today, but I'm pretty sure she'd like to give us a few words. And what was your, let me see, when you gave your address, remember your address? Do you still remember it?
Sort of.
Would you like to? Never mind, no.
No, I wouldn't like to.
What you been doing?
Well, we live in Georgetown now, and I'm not too young to be a grandmother. I have 4, Larry and I have 4 grandchildren. He's definitely not too young to be a grandfather. We have 4 grandchildren and 3 more on the way. So we're going to have a big family. Larry and I both work in a manufacturing company in Austin. We live in Georgetown. Hi, Rosie. And we love it in Central Texas. My folks still live here in Alice, so we come back fairly often. But we're really happy up there, and it is marvelous to see all of you. It's been wonderful to get together.
You bet. It's about you because everybody's been talking about you. You going to tell us a secret?
Never mind.
You live where? In Kingsville?
Kingsville, Texas.
How many kids?
I got 4 of them.
4 of them. Big ones, too, aren't they?
Yeah, one that's attending in Cornell Ward College in San Antonio. My daughter's at Texas A&I, and my baby boy, he's 24. He's University of Texas, San Antonio, and he's going to be a jet pilot with the Air Force.
All right.
And I got a grandson.
And a grandfather already. How about that? This guy has a son-in-law, too, that's a defensive coordinator for the Kingsville Brahmas. And he used to play for the Gunslingers, too, of San Antonio. His name is Castillo, played at A&I. A heck of a guy and a great coach and a fine son-in-law, too, huh?
Very nice.
Very proud of him. Thank you, Butcho. Okay. You're not a quarterback. No, come on, Barbara. Get over here, too. You'll follow her. Yeah. Come on. Peckabush. Yeah?
We live in Corpus. We have 3 children, 2 girls and a boy. And I have 2 grandchildren. A little girl, Deidre, 2.5, and a little boy that's 1 month. And we're proud of them.
And then some, right? Yes. Do you come to Alice often?
Yes, I have family here. This is home.
Good to see you, Barbara. Good to see you. Okay, Polk. Betty, how are you?
Fine.
No, you weren't here last night, were you?
I was.
Yes, you were. Okay.
We live in Corpus Christi. I married a guy from Kingsville, and we still fight on football night. And we have 3 children and 3 grandchildren, and I have a daycare in my home.
Well, that's great. Okay, good to see you. And who you married, all those good things about how nice your husband is and handsome and, you know, makes a lot of money and he's
That's right. Okay, you've said it all.
Okay.
You do love yourself, don't you?
And then some. Well, anyway.
No, Reuben and I have 3 girls and 1 boy. Our oldest is 26. She lives in Corpus. Our second one attends University of Texas in Austin and is staying with us this summer and working with the Weather Service.
Takes after her dad.
No, better than that. Then our one and only son is attending summer school at A&I and will be attending A&I until his sister graduates from Texas, which is in about a year and a half. And our youngest is 15, and she's a sophomore this year. And we have no grandchildren because none of our children want to get married.
But we do have a dog. Yeah.
And Reuben and I have spent our time moving here, there, and everywhere. But we're hoping that we are settled now in Kingsville. It's a lovely town, close to home, and we get to see everybody whenever we come over. We have really, truly enjoyed this weekend, and it's just makes it very special that we did wait this long because it makes us appreciate each other a lot more. But I do hope that we don't have to wait that long anymore, and maybe we can get together again within the next 5 years or so. But we would like to keep in touch with everyone, and you all are welcome in our home whenever you're in Kingsville.
Clausen, right. From Clausen Music?
Well, they're an ex-relative.
Oh, okay. All right, Karen, tell us a little bit about yourself. What have you been doing?
Well, when I graduated, I had to move to the big city, which is Corpus Christi, Texas, and I am still there. I didn't go any further because I like it very well. I went to work for CP&L, and I've been there for 31 years.
The CP&L?
Right.
How about that? Mm-hmm.
And I'm scared to death.
No. Now I know who you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have 1 daughter and no grandchildren. I'm too young to have grandchildren also.
That's right, yeah. 38. You were the youngest in the class, weren't you?
Right, yes.
That's right, yeah. Okay.
And I didn't get to come last night, but it's been really nice seeing everyone that I recognize and some that I don't. And it's been a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed it.
Well, good to have you with us. All right, Karen Williams. Oh, very scared. Let me see. You were voted most likely to succeed.
Most likely not to succeed. No, I was Helen Maines, and I've been happily married for a long time, and we have 4 children and 5 grandchildren, and we're in the insurance business.
Grandchildren and great-grand? No, not great.
No, not great-grandchildren. Grandchildren.
Sordo no oye, pero compone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Okay.
And it's nice to be here.
It's good to have you. You bet. Looking great. All righty. Abelardo, you look great.
Reuben, I've been here in Alice all my life. I am the owner of the Alice Cash and Carry Wholesale Grocery. I hope you don't charge me for that advertising.
That's right.
My wife is Melba. You remember that little twirler in the field there?
Oh, yeah.
I have 4 kids, 3 girls, 1 boy. One will be married next month, so I'll have all of them married out of the house. And I have 3 grandchildren, and I love them, and I love you all.
All right. It's great. Great to have you with us, Abelardo.
Oh, about me, man?
Oh, listen, there's a lot of things I know about you, but they don't, so tell them about it.
Well, I've just been me. I've been me for 33 years. I lived in Corpus for 30 years. We have, I think we have a family, don't we? Where's that lady? I have 5 grandchildren. I have 2 boys and 1 daughter. And I'm very happy to be here.
It's good to see all of you. And then all of you. Him a child. Now, this guy hasn't changed a bit, has he?
Oh, yeah, come on.
Well, it's all right. What have you been doing?
I just stayed here in Alice all my life, except for Uncle Sam. Married Coralie Orton.
Yeah?
We got 3 kids, but she's too young to be a grandmother, too.
So you don't want to do that, huh? Plan to stay in Alice?
Well, I got oil field business here that I got to stay.
You betcha. It's going to come back again. Don't worry. You bet it is.
So one of these days.
Does it feel great to be here with all these guys?
Oh, yeah, it's good to see everybody. I'm glad everybody show up. I wish everybody could have been here.
Oh, it would have been great. You betcha. All right. Georgia, thank you, David. Come on. Couldn't be anybody else. And doesn't she look lovely? Hi, Georgia.
Hi.
What you been doing? Well, how about selling the guys a home?
A nursing home?
I think she meant that for me.
No, I'm living in Corpus Christi now. I am in real estate. I retired from marriage 19 and a half years. I have remarried. I think he's still here. We've been married 13 and a half years. Together we have 4 children. We have 5 grandbabies, 2 cats.
2 cats.
Mm-hmm.
No dogs.
No dogs.
Okay.
But it is just great to see everybody. I'm just so excited. I don't want to wait.
No,
33 years, no 5 years. We got your addresses. Y'all come see me. I'll come and see you. I just want to see everybody.
You bet.
Left out, and I don't know what happened, but anyhow, I do have 4 kids.
You do?
2 at home, and 2 of them married. I married a bobcat, an Edinburgh bobcat, 29 years ago, and she got real mad at me because when we played in Edinburgh, I didn't notice her. She was on the sideline as a cheerleader, and she never could have figured out, how come I didn't notice her.
Oh, really?
But we met at A&I, and we've been married for 29 years, and we love living in the valley. If anybody comes down there, come see us. We'll be in Alice first week in September to play football after we got beat so bad by Alice last year. And it's nice being here, seeing everybody. I've been excited and wanting to do this for ever since Charlie said he'd call every friends in the 512 area code to locate us. But we're in the valley, and I'm coaching at Edinburgh High School. I wish I'd have coached all my life. I'm enjoying it. Wish I could play more golf, better golf. But I'm not going to play with these 2 again. Oh, Lord. Yeah, there were a lot of woes today.
A lot of woes, yeah.
Let's do this again, guys. And those that didn't show up, let's get them here. Okay?
You bet.
They had some kind of silver dollar award week or something or nothing.
Yeah?
So I kept it. For a
Well,
long,
great.
long time.
You've been here in Alice, too, haven't you?
I've lived here all my life. I married my next door neighbor.
Oh, very nice.
We've been married for 33 years. We have 2 daughters, and I'm not too young to be a grandmother. I have 3. 2 grandsons and 1 little granddaughter.
Well, you did a great job as our bookkeeper, and thank you so much.
I retired after 30 years as a bookkeeper.
So you're now, so that's why.
Right. So I have
Okay.
a little bit of experience.
Fantastic.
I've
Okay.
enjoyed it so much.
Thank you, Joan. Thank you.
Jane? Jane.
I know.
That red-headed old woman.
I know.
I'm
What you
Horace
doing?
Adams. I've been with Central Fire and Light going on 33 years. No, 32 years. Let me get it straight. I think Charlie and I have got, we got 7 kids, 8 grandkids, 1 in the hatchery. It'll be out in the next 4 or 5 weeks. We don't have no great-grandkids yet, but we're working on it.
1 in the where?
In the hatchery.
hatchery?
In the nest, Reuben. God, you're getting old.
Ah. In the net. Oh, you're a shrimper.
No, I'm not no shrimper.
Oh, okay. You better. Oh, that's right. You got a 45-day moratorium or something like that.
No, I think Charles and Joan and all of them done a real good deal on this, and it's a shame that people right here in Alice that didn't even show up for it. I hate to see and say that I've lived here all my life. Of course, I see a lot of you a whole lot of the times, and here I run into one I went to school with, didn't even know she's working for Central Fire and Light till tonight. And that's pretty damn bad. Excuse my English. But they are a lot here in Alice, and that we had talked to try to get them to come, and they didn't have time, you know. It's really pitiful. And enjoyed seeing all y'all, and God bless every one of you. Get a safe trip home.
You bet.
All of y'all came tonight. I think it was in April of '85. I contacted a few people that were here in town and made arrangements to use one of the bank community rooms and tried to organize a class reunion. Unfortunately, I was the only one that showed up. I think it was Charlie's birthday. Where's Charlie?
Which Charlie?
Charlie Todd.
Oh, Charlie.
There she is.
Okay, yeah.
It was her birthday, so she had a good excuse. They went out to celebrate. And that's about all. It's really exciting. I, shortly after that, had back problems and had to have back surgery in '85. And I've been here. After graduation, I went to business school in Corpus, and I married a boy from Orange Grove. And we had 2 children, a boy and a girl. And my daughter just married in March, and I have a new son-in-law. And they're living in Odessa at the time, and my son is with me now because my husband became ill in January of '88, and I lost him in January of '89. But God bless all of you for coming.
Thank you so much. You did a great job, and we appreciate it. Yeah, now I know who he was.
Who he is.
Oh, thank you very. Oh, you took English 4, huh? Show off.
5.
Charlie, what have you been doing?
Well, let me say I'm glad to be here, first of all. The reason I look so young is I was a year behind most of you guys. I was in the year. But anyway, I'm glad to be here. Frances Scott, who invited me to come with her, we had a short fling in marriage for about 18 years, and she's remarried, and she invited me to come, which I'm glad I did. And but between us, we have, well, no, let's put it this way. I'm not old enough to have any grandkids. No. She has 4. She has 4.
Would you like to come up here and defend yourself on this, too? Come on up here, Francis. Come here, Francis. Come on, yeah.
And the oldest son is 32 years old, and the youngest is 26, I believe. After she graduated, I went in the military, and I spent 20 years, which I retired in 1976. And I worked for the airline, and it was Texas International at the time, which is now Continental. I worked there for 5 years. And I got a job with Perkins and Company here in Alice, and I come back to Alice in '82. And I've been here ever since, and this has always been home. We'd come in and out because we've been all over the world, all the way from Japan, Thailand, Korea, Okinawa, Spain, Puerto Rico, and another overseas place was Abilene, Texas. Yeah, that was another overseas place. No, it wasn't. Yeah, but anyway, I'm awfully glad to be here and to see some of the people that I haven't seen. Well, I have to admit, I'm embarrassed because there's people here in Alice that I didn't know we went to school together. I mean, I've seen them here that I recognize them, and I'm just proud to be here. And I like to say that everybody that voted for me this year, I'm on the city council here in Alice, and I appreciate your votes.
The following was a paid political announcement. Yeah, Francis, get over here. And so.
But anyway,
you can tell he's a politician.
That was a plug for next 2 years. It's 2-year term, so think about me 2 years later. Let me say this. Let me just say, talking about keto, we were talking last night. You know, we talk about old times. We had when we played. I played with the Packer team also, but I just like to say that he brought up something tonight that it was real funny because when I started school here, you know, we were the first part of integration here in Alice. We were among the first 5 or 6 black students to come to Alice. And we were talking tonight because when I played football, they wouldn't let us go to a lot of places to eat because of me. So Keto said, golly, you know what? He said, I just thought about it. He said, do you know that we used to eat chicken fried steak to these places? Now we had to go to these other places. We can't get anything but roast beef. So But anyway, like I said again, I'm just thrilled to be here, and 33 years is a long time, and God have been good to all of us that's here. And I just hope that it won't take 33 years again to have something like this to happen to us. And I don't go for 5 years. I think it should be less time than that because time is running out. But when you look at Mr. O'Rear, you don't think about time when you look at him. He looks the same way he did before. But I'd like to thank you, and as I said before, God bless everybody that came, and we pray that you make your journey back home safe, and you think about all of us back here in Alice.
Thank you, Charlie. Okay, Francis, how about yourself now?
Okay, I live in Dallas, Texas, and we have 3 children together and 4 grandchildren. And, of course, I was the first black to graduate from William Adams High School. And it's good to see everybody. And so you all pray that we all make a safe trip back home. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you, Francis. Okay.
Lived in Houston for 29 years. I'm a bilingual buyer for an exporting company. We are exporting to the Latin countries. And I've got 3 kids, 26-year-old daughter, 23-year-old son, and a 17-year-old son going to St. Pius Catholic High School in Houston. And what else? What else? No, I'm glad to be here. I'm really enjoying this. I'm glad to see everybody, and I didn't recognize a lot of them, but as I opened that directory, I'm beginning to know who you are, and I hope we don't take that long to get back together. I've really enjoyed it and hope to see you all real soon. I come here a lot to see the Coyotes play, you know.
And then some. You bet.
Yeah.
You bet. Okay, thank you. Okay, behind her, you know, because she's got round shoulders, and I would go,
oh, God. Well, you know, I had to leave Alice to go to the University of Texas to look for a husband. I had to find a Mexican-American who was Baptist and was going to UT, and I found him there.
well, that was hard to do in those days.
It was tough, since I was the only Baptist Mexican-American going to high school. Anyway, I've been married to Manuel Frias for 25 years, and I have 2 daughters, Laura and Deborah. Deborah is a professional student at UT, has changed her majors many times. Hopefully she'll get her degree in economics. And Laura is an occupational therapy major at TWU. And I'm a nurse gerontologist.
A nurse gerontologist? Of course, how could I forget? No, you're a nurse or
gerontologist.
Oh, she sells Geritol.
That's right.
All righty, you do? No, what is a never mind.
Okay. I specialize in care of the elderly. Okay?
Okay, well.
And let me say, when I came today to the restaurant, I felt like I was in the wrong place. Because I said, those people can't be my classmates. They're too old. And Mina said I can attest to that because I went in the room and walked out. And I asked the waitress, I said, are you sure that's the class reunion? They said, yeah. Anyway, I haven't been to Alice in a long time, and I'm glad to come back and rekindle some friendships. And now that I'm with you for several hours, hey, we all look young. And let's keep on.
Fantastic. Thank you. All those guys, come on over here. Hi, Minnie.
Hi.
Well, have you been enjoying yourself?
I sure have, and I'm so glad to see everybody. I've been in Alice most of my life, except for 5 years that I left Alice, but I'm back, and I'm very happy to be back. I have 2 daughters. One's a physical therapist in Houston, and she's working on her PhD, and I have my oldest daughter is an assistant principal in Bronzeville. I have 3 grandchildren, 2 granddaughters and 1 grandson.
How about that? And we were just 184 when we graduated, and look what we've done now, you know. Population explosion. That's great, though.
So I'm glad to see everybody, and I hope we get to see each other again very soon.
You betcha we will. You look so pretty tonight.
Thank you. I'm Carol Sue, Giggy Sue. I live in Alice now. I live in El Paso now, and I haven't been back in 33 years. It's wonderful to be here. I have 2 children, a son and a daughter, and I'm an assistant principal in elementary school, and I want to thank everybody for getting this together.
You bet. Okay, thank you.
I've been back in Alice for about 13 years. We're self-employed. We're doing little financing, a little real estate, little ranching, and we're very happy that we're back in Alice. My eldest daughter will be a senior at Texas. My second child will be a sophomore at Southwest. My smallest will be a senior here at high school.
Yep. Well, that's great. You know, almost everybody that's come up here has said some great and beautiful words that their kids are in college, and I think that's great. You know, how many of us could really afford college when we graduated from high school, but now we got to thank the Lord for giving us that opportunity and the ability to send our kids to college. Keep it up, guys. We need them up there. Al, thank you. Good to see you, guy. Wait, no. How did that come out? Oh, the athletics, yeah, the athletics, yeah. No, you're a guy. Hi, Ronnie Cops.
How you doing, Reverend?
What have you been doing?
Well, I've been in the oil business for about the last 25 years, living in Houston on and off. Traveled overseas for 7 years. Back in Houston again. Come to Alice occasionally. Love to play golf here.
Yeah?
Meeting all these people occasionally. On the golf course and off. And it is nice to be back and see everybody after all these years.
And he looks great, too, guys. There he is. Ron, too.
¿Qué digo?
Once upon a midnight dreary, while we pondered weak and weary over many acquainting cure. Never mind. Oh.
My name, we're gonna win. I remember when the guys used to get up, you know, when we were gonna have a game, and you get ready for speeches, and then they all say, we're gonna win. Everybody would repeat the same thing. Well, I'm Cristina Carrasco Rojas. I married Quito after graduation. We moved to Corpus for 30 years. We have 5 children. No, 3 children and 3 children and 5.
Not my fault.
We have 2 boys and a girl, 5 grandkids. And we've been back in Alice for 3 years. And I'm glad we could get together, and I hope we do this again.
You bet. And when you say you're going to win, you were a winner when you married that guy. All right. And this is Rosie Galloway Pierce.
That's right. In case anyone don't recognize me, I'm 39 years old.
All right. Yeah. That's yeah. And I'm George F. Well, never mind.
I've been married 33 years to Clem Pierce, and I think most everyone here knows who he is. We have 2 daughters. One is 32 years old. She's a marshal in Bayfield, Colorado. We have 1 daughter that was supposedly going to be a coroner that's what she was studying, 1 year. $5,000 worth of engagement, that's what it was.
Goodness gracious.
She's going to be married the end of September. We have 2 grandchildren, and we've lived here in Alice.
All right.
Haven't gone anywhere.
And she looks 39. You bet you, Rosie.
Barbara Shalorn McCurdy.
Oh, I know that.
Okay.
No.
Let's see. I've been married to my second husband 12 years. We live in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, which is south of Jacksonville. And I never had children, but this husband had 4 children, so I have 9 step-grandchildren and if I'd have known how wonderful everyone was going to turn out, I'd have been in contact with a lot of you before now.
Well, you look great, Barbara. Good to see you. Thank you so much.
McCaig. I've been in California, the Los Angeles area, for almost 30 years now. Divorced in California and then remarried a number of years later. My husband adopted my children, so he's about all they know. We've been involved in politics and civic things. My husband served as the mayor and on city council for our city. And we sold our business about 2 years ago. He was retired and plays golf, and I work.
How about that, yeah? That's great, you know that. But that's what I told Cecilia. You know, when I retired from the military, I told everybody I was going to be a go-getter. I was going to take Cecilia to work in the morning and go get her in the evening. Yeah. Robert Rodriguez.
My name is Robert Rodriguez. I joined the service, the Army, after high school, and I retired in '78 from the U.S. Army. I married a girl from Spain. We have 2 daughters, and by now I'm probably grandparents by now. Huh?
Oh, you don't know this, huh?
We have to call Temple and find out. Yeah. And I hope we get together again pretty soon.
Well, that's great. Robert, huh? Robert Rodriguez, retired Army.
How about that?
How about that?
The only reason I'm up here is 2 reasons. One, I want you, all you wealthy guys and gals, to send your kids up to College Station, because that's where I live. I've lived there for the last 17 years. We need the business. The other reason is I didn't want Ray Garza to come up here and beat me to this. I've been married to Yolanda Martinez from Falfurrias for the last 28 years. We have 4 kids, 3 boys and a daughter. My oldest son is 27. My youngest one is 18. And we just want to have a good time and enjoy all your company and everything. And gig 'em Aggies.
Gig 'em who? Oh, yeah. Didn't you see this tie? Come over here, Carol Lou Brown. Isn't she lovely? All right, how have you been?
I've been fine.
Oh, yeah, well, I can't even talk, you know.
I can talk perfectly well, but I don't want to say anything about myself because it's all in the book, so clap. You can read it there. I would like to say it's very good to see all of you again. I'm sorry that it's been so long. I hope it will be more often. And although I think probably the only thing that I would be famous or infamous for is I was the one shot for stealing watermelons. And the rest of you got off light, let me tell you, because I'm sure you were into it yourself.
Well, are some of them here tonight, Carol Lou?
Some of my accomplices?
Yeah, some of you are. No, they're not, huh?
No.
Okay.
No. I went out of the class for that.
Oh. The class of '56 was too dignified to do things like that. We're stealing from the grocery store. Barbara Walt.
Yes. This has really been great, and I'm just so glad that we all got together. And I just want to say that the most memorable thing I can remember about high school were the slumber parties after the football games when we'd all go walking around in our shorty pajamas and we'd see a car and we'd say, duck, hit the ground. And that was fun. And it's been great. I wish it could be a week here.
You betcha, you bet, yeah. They kept calling KOPY, at that time it was KBKI, you know. Will you play this song for us? We're throwing pillows at each other. Charlie Massey, get over here, partner. He looks great. Thanks for the great time today. Well, I'm sorry I couldn't get in the pool. Shamu was there already. Chancellor.
Well, it's a lot of deep water.
Oh, yeah.
But I've lived here in Alice, and I married Mary Ann Allen. And I guess the brightest thing was that last year wasn't here cheerleaders, so we've had a happy life for 30 years. And I appreciate everybody coming by today, and we ought to do this more often.
You betcha we will. Thank you, Charlie Massey. Okay. Claire Perkins, I tell you, doesn't she look lovely, as always? Hi, Claire.
Hi, how are you?
I cannot complain.
Good. I'm just going to kind of move this along, and I think you can read the things in my book. I have a lot of wonderful memories. But I've lived in El Paso for about 20 years now. I live in Austin, and I have 3 sons, a rock musician, an actor, and maybe one's going to actually do something professionally. I don't know, but so far not. But anyway, this has been wonderful, and I really appreciate everybody that's done work on this, and I hope that we can get together sooner next time.
Thank you, Claire. Great to see you. You bet. All right.
I'm Sandra Adams.
Of course. I do it all the time, Sandra.
Well, I live in Friendswood. I have 5 children, 3 grandchildren, and I'm just glad to be here.
And Friendswood is just south of Houston.
Right.
Right next to NASA.
Right.
Are you in the space program?
Right.
All right. There he is, my attorney. God, if I ever get in trouble, this is the guy I'm going to call, because he used to get me in a hell of a lot of trouble all the time. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
You look great.
Well, thank you.
Yep. Well, I just want to tell you that, you know, I've got to watch 3 more shows of Judge Wapner, and I'll get my license too, you know. But anyway, what's been going on with Mike Everett?
I've been in Dallas since 1956 and college and practicing law there. I have 2 great kids, a 26-year-old daughter and a 22-year-old son. Fortunately or unfortunately, no wife right now. Before I came down, my partner told me that he had attended a high school class reunion, and he said it was like either stepping into or out of a time capsule. And believe me, that's exactly the way I feel. Some of you who live in this area have had the good fortune to see one another from time to time, and most of you have faces that I haven't seen in 33 years, and please accept my apologies if I
didn't recognize you. And as maybe Bobby Tom said, some of you certainly look better than you did. Some of you look worse than you did. Most of us, however, look our ages, let's face it, folks. But it's fantastic to see you all, and this has really been a great experience. And I really want to thank Charles and all of the committee who worked so hard on this. It's been a rip-roaring success, and I know we all are very grateful to them.
Thank you, Mike. Great memories with this guy, I tell you. We spent a lot of time together. Like I said, he got me into a lot of trouble. The night that Elvis Presley was in Corpus, he got me to work for him at Slumber Party, and then Bob Grimes, Mike, we were trying to remember his name. Bob Grimes was the general manager. He calls me up, you know, he says, "What are you doing on the air? Where's Mike?" He went to see Elvis Presley. He says, "Well, you tell him when he gets back here to see me in the morning, and you too." "Yes, sir, I will," you know. Then Mike comes in about 5 minutes before signed off, you know, and I told him, well, let me finish the show. Maybe he'll be easy on us, you know. He just played the Star Spangled Banner, and that was it. But we still say, "Come on over here, you two lovely things."
Hi.
Together again. This is Jane Goldap.
Yes.
Hi. How are you?
Oh, well, I'm just fine. And this has been so much fun. It's been great seeing everybody. And I have been privileged because I know some older people that also graduated from Alice High School. So this is not my first reunion. And at that reunion, Fidel Rule was the master of ceremony. I thought he was the best. But I think you're even better than Fidel.
I'm glad you said that because I was hoping, I saw the tape, and he was rubbing it in, you know, to see how suave I was. Thank you. That's great, Jane. How about that, huh? Oh, Kerry is a GS-16, works for NASA. Hi, Mary Wall.
Hi.
Mary Wall.
Yes.
How are
By all
you?
means, call me Mary Wall. It's been great coming to Alice and seeing all of you all. I'm sorry I haven't been here sooner. I sort of had forgotten how nice it was and how good those familiar faces looked. Forgive me if I didn't remember your names. I have a feeling many of you didn't remember my name either. So it's been okay, and let's do it again before too many years.
You betcha, we certainly will. You don't have to apologize. Some of us didn't even remember our names this morning, you know. Come on over here. And who do we have here?
Well, I don't have a name tag. Janine Langford.
Yeah.
And this is my second time back to Alice since I graduated. I was back here in '76 for a reunion, but I only saw about 3 people out of my class. So this has been great, and I thank everybody that put it together, and I hope we do it again real soon.
You betcha. Okay, how about that? All righty, do we have any more? Any more volunteers? Come on, This is Bonnie Bruce.
Bruce.
Okay.
I want to be with George Strait, dancing. Next reunion, we have to have a country western dance, all right? I'm from Arkansas, and I can't stand driving this far and not country western dancing.
Well, I can do a George Strait.
Well, let's go.
Okay. What in the world's going on in your world? All my exes leave. No, I don't have any exes, thank God.
Well, we're right. We live in Arkansas, and we raise chickens and cattle. We live on a mountain, and we love it. We've been there 27 years. We have 2 girls, 3 grandchildren.
Okay.
I'll
Bonnie,
be back, but next time I want to dance.
I promise you, I'll have tickets for you for the George Strait show in Kingsville next year.
Oh, man, I'm coming.
All righty, we will. I promise that. About her son for Texas Tech next year, this guy is fantastic. You betcha. I had to tell you, you must be very proud of him.
I am. He's supposed to be playing in the high school football all-star game on Tuesday. It's going to be on TV. So be sure and watch it.
You betcha. And he goes by Bingo. Why did you name... I've been wanting to ask you that all this time. B-I-N-G-O, right?
No, his name is Trinidad. But he's afraid everybody will mispronounce it, so he'd rather be called Bingo. His teachers, everybody calls him Bingo, so he's Bingo.
And he is Bingo. 6'4", 250?
287, I believe it was.
Somebody weighs more than us, Quito?
He's big.
They're also taller than you are.
Okay, well, I mean, you know. But we're big-boned.
It's been great fun. Enjoyed seeing everybody.
Thank you, Arcelia. Thank you so very much. Okay, and this is Alicia Alvarado Ramos.
I've been married for 31 years and got six children. 4 girls and 2 boys. The girls are married and the 2 boys don't want to get married.
They don't want to get married, huh?
No, well,
I don't blame them either, you know.
well, my husband was military Air Force 20 years, so we always moving around. Came back here in 81.
Well, good to have you with us, Alicia. Thank you so much. Okay. And this young lady here, Maria.
Right.
But everybody called you?
Elma.
Elma.
Morena.
Morena. There you go.
Okay, yeah. I have 5 children. I have 4 boys, 1 girl. Very proud of them. That's all I can say.
What have you been doing all these years?
Well, I'm working. I work at Dina's right now as a waitress. I've been working there for 7 years. I love it.
Well, you look great. Believe me, you really look great, and we'll see you in 33 more years.
Oh, Lord. I hope not. It was great. I love everybody.
Thank you, Morena. All right. Eloisa Garza Bentancourt.
Thank you. Well, been married 33 years. I have 1 child. He's in the U.S. Army. He's married. I've got 1 grandchild, 1 year old. Very proud of him.
You bet. And we saw pictures of him today. He is a good-looking kid.
Of course, just like his grandmother. Same thing.
Yeah. You know, they always look like Grandma, you know?
And I'm really glad to have seen all of you, and so glad that you got to see me, too.
You betcha. All right. Thank you, Luisa. Hi there. We didn't see you yesterday either.
Oh, I couldn't make it last night.
And what is your name?
You don't remember my name?
Oh, boy, here we go again. Emma. No, Lupe Flores.
No.
No. Irma.
Norma.
Norma Esparza. How about that? You're Norma Esparza. I know you. I know who you are. Do you know who you are?
Yes, I do. Norma Esparza Ramirez.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you. And I've been living in Corpus for the past 15 years, and I have an 18-year-old son who just graduated from King High School, and I do part-time modeling.
How about that? And you look lovely. You haven't changed a bit.
I haven't?
Well,
I frosted my hair.
Oh, okay. That's the way out.
It's great to be here and see all my classmates.
You bet. Thank you, Norma. I could have never told it was Norma Esparza. All righty, and this guy is Wright Clark.
That's right.
I got him right.
You do pretty good reading. I'm Wright Clark, and I live in Bay City. I have 4 children and 5 grandchildren, and I was glad to be here to see everybody.
Good to see you, too. You bet. All these grandparents, God, it's great. All righty, Concepcion and Juan Cavazos. I pronounced their name correctly. Sozovac spelled backwards. What have you guys been doing?
Well, we've been working.
Uh-huh.
We have 5 children. Our oldest is 29, our youngest is 18. And we have 4 career college kids.
How about that? And you're living in McAllen, right?
Yes.
How long have you been living down there?
We've been living in McAllen 15 years, and we're self-employed. My husband owns a graphic supply business. He operates it with our youngest son. I operate a printing business with my 3 sons. Mm-hmm. And my daughter is a cosmetologist. She's self-employed, and we're all working.
Fantastic. You must be very proud of them, just like everybody else. Juan, what have you? You look pretty good yourself, fella.
Doing pretty good.
Well, no complaints, huh? You're not like Butcher. You eat then, huh? Okay. Okay, thank you both.
I am glad to have seen everybody. I've just enjoyed the day. And I was not going to come because I have gained 30 pounds. And I said, there's no way I'm going to show up there. And then I have a comadre that said, if you're not as fat as Quito Rojas, you can come. I said, wow. I said, well, I'm not. I said, well, you got it made. Come on over.
You betcha. Thank you so much, Concepcion. Give my regards to your brother, the Secretary of Education. Yes.
My last one.
Lupe Flores.
Oh, you know. Okay, I married Fidencio Martinez, and he was from Yorktown, and he took me there.
Forcefully.
We have lived there for the first 5 years of my marriage, we traveled to Central State because his job took us there. And in 65, I almost lost him. He had a very, very bad accident. He fell off of a water tower. And he's living proof, I guess. The Lord spared him for some reason. And we came to Yorktown in 65 to recuperate, and we stayed there. We have 3 children. And I am in the banking business, but I'm not like some of my classmates that are rich and really directors and all
sorts of good things in banking. I'm the underpaid teller. But...
Well, why don't you tell them?
But I am the vault cashier, so...
Ooh, can we get some samples?
Yes, but they go to my house first. But anyway, we have 3 children, and 2 of them live in Victoria. I still have one at home who's 20 and going to college in Victoria, but we'll soon be going to A&M as soon as she gets out of Victoria.
Okay, thank you, Lupe. Another Aggie. Son of a gun. Now, this guy here, he and I used to play cowboys and Indians, and he always wanted to be the Indian. He always wanted to be the good guy. Johnny Flores.
I always won.
I know. He was the fastest gun in San Felipe.
No. Transport.
Monterey.
Okay. Okay, I forgot.
Johnny Flores.
Yeah.
Start off with Johnny Flores.
I'm living in San Antonio. I've been in San Antonio, how many years? 26 years. I've got 3 boys, 2 married, and I've got 1 grandson. He looks like me, except...
No mustache.
Yeah, no mustache.
No mustache.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
you're living in San Antonio now, Johnny?
I'm working for civil service, San Antonio.
And some of you might remember his good-looking brother, Danny Flores, who had a company with NASA. It was a Mexican and a Chinese, and needless to say, they named the company Chimex. Which is true. It's true.
Yeah.
Johnny, good to see you guys. Looking great. You betcha. And now here comes the best-dressed golfer of the world. Hey, Benny.
Just for the record, Ruben, I think we tied for 3rd.
Oh, you shot an 82?
Sir.
My apologies. I'm so sorry.
But anyway, you might have been in the handicap hole.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Benny, you look great.
I've been in Dallas 24 years. I've been married 13 years. No children, so that's about it. And,
well, you look great, though.
And I'm just glad to be here, and I appreciate all the work everybody's done, and glad to see everyone.
Benny, I've always heard about these guys, you know, getting hole-in-ones and everything. Somebody told me a story about you up in Dallas getting a hole-in-one. Can you tell the classmates what you got for that?
Well, I did get an 88 Volvo and a $5,000 income tax for IRS.
Look, you guys, I got to watch my English now, because here comes Miss Ramey.
No, I don't know about that. I married a girl from Edinburgh, and when you say that the Edinburgh beat the Coyotes, sister, I was jumping up and down over in the chair a while ago.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and listen, we've been living in Houston for the past 27 years. I'm a barber over there, and it's great, but this is greater than anything I've been to.
It's good to see a lot of people remember you, and they were, when you walked in yesterday, I thought all the girls, I've been gone!
Well, I don't know what to say. I'm so nervous. I married that guy over there. He's from Rios, Texas, and we have 3 sons and a daughter and 2 grandkids, and it's beautiful. I just enjoy everybody here, and I hope we see each other soon.
You Guerra Salinas.
I'm glad to be here, and I've been living here all my life. I married Octavio Salinas, 30 years now. I have 2 children. The oldest 28 and 23, Rosalie, and they're both living at home. And we're self-employed.
You bet. And you've been here a long, long time and married a great guy, Big Tavo, right?
Right.
And then some. Anita, thank you so much. Okay. I think just you can do a little trimming here and,
well, I do my living in a clip joint.
In a clip joint.
Owner and operator of Vicente's Barber and Beauty Salon. Yeah, are you going to charge me for that?
No, sir. No. Later.
Okay. Married a lovely girl from Benavides. We have 2 children. My son, he lives in North Carolina, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and he is a computer programmer for Pittman Airlines. My daughter manages a shoe store in Dallas. And I have 2 granddaughters, beautiful granddaughters.
You must be very proud of them. Do they get free haircuts?
Whenever they visit me, yes.
Here's Miss Ramey. Hello, you look lovely. How about a big head? You bet. You know, we appreciate it so much that we have at least a couple of teachers that sent us in the right direction with us tonight, and you don't know how much we appreciate that.
Thank you. All I've heard tonight are tale after tale about how mean and ugly I was to you during high school. It's been very gratifying to hear from you.
Well, Mrs. Ramey, I'll tell you what. It got to the point to where when we planned all this, you know, somebody says, "Is Miss Ramey coming?" And they said, "Well, we're going to put her on that program, you know, the 10 Most Wanted."
Oh.
And we found you. No, we love you, and we're so glad you were here.
I am so glad to be here, and I love all of you.
You bet. Thank you so much. How about a big hand? Yeah, bow tie. I'm glad you brought that up, you know. Mr. Larry O'Reilly. You look great, too, big guy. How are you?
Fine. I just came up to bring Miss Ramey, actually, but I've been hearing the same thing, you know, about how mean and how terrible Miss Ramey was. That's what everybody... I really appreciated the invitation to be here. It's a great pleasure to see so many people, some of whom are my students and others I just saw around the place. We went through a few things together. I was a brand new teacher when I had some of you in my class, and I learned something from it, and maybe you learned something from it. I know you suffered from it, but it was, when I came to Alice, I was intended to teach for 1 year because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. But the students I had here, my experiences here, made me really fall in love with teaching. And I want to thank you for what you have meant to me and for getting me turned in the direction that I've gone more or less for the last, you know, how many years. I still teach school at night for Austin Community College. I work in industry in the daytime. And I guess I would teach from now on, partly because of what happened here in Alice, Texas. Thank you very much.
Get on over here, because I'm running out of court here.
I've been in Cincinnati 26 years, and even longer than that, I haven't seen a lot of you. And I must tell you a story about myself. When the invitation for this came out, I put it on my desk, and it kind of got covered up. And every time I'd find it, I'd put it under the bottom again. And I had some trepidation about sending this in, and I thought, well, I won't know a lot of these people. And I got my old annual out, and I went through there and said, I'll know them all.
Oh, yeah.
I lied like hell. Walked in the door over here and thought I was in the wrong place. But we have gotten reacquainted with many of you, and it's nice to see you, and I hope we don't wait another 33 years.
And your name?
Joe.
Joe, you betcha. Hi, Butch.
How are you?
Great. How about yourself?
Oh, doing fine.
Does it look great? Huh? Does it look great? You're cute. I feel great, Reuben.
I live in Rockport. I've lived there about 20 years. Work in Corpus Christi. Couple of kids. Recently remarried. And good to be here. Good to see all of you.
It's good to see you, Butch Adams. You look great, guy.
How you doing?
What's been going on? You're living in Houston, aren't you?
Well, we're in Houston now. After I left high school in 1956, I went to prison for 7 years, and I got out, and I've got 17 children and 23 grandchildren, and I'm just having a great time, you know.
And I suppose you're going to tell me that the next guy coming up is your lawyer, Ricky Kinsler.
I've been bankrupt twice. I work in a bank, which is the Beirut National Bank, here in Houston, and I'm just having a great time.
Well, good. Are you on parole now?
I'm on parole. I have a little watch that they monitor where I go, everywhere, you know. So yeah. I'm just having a lot of fun.
Well, that's great. Where did you have where'd you get the clothes?
I bought them at the...
You sure as hell didn't get them from Quito.
That was one of the reasons I went to prison. I stole them off of a guy down there on Main Street.
Okay. When I said he was my idol, I was just kidding. Had to follow that. You're his attorney.
He said he's in prison. I worked in the prison. He was there.
Oh, yeah? What were you doing working in prison?
I need to learn something.